Hey folks, this is Dara. I'm a gender therapist in Colorado. So I was driving home and I was listening to a podcast that I really enjoy, and there was something that was said on it that I thought was interesting, and I wanted to share it with you to see if maybe it would be helpful for anyone out there. So the name of this podcast is The Tim Ferriss Show. And Tim Ferriss is an entrepreneur. He wrote the book called The 4-Hour Work Week, The 4-Hour Chef, The 4-Hour Body. I like him. I think he offers a lot of interesting interviews on his podcast. But today it was like an interview with him, and he was talking about some of the things that he enjoys in life. So he enjoys, as a type of philosophy that he follows, Stoicism. And he was giving examples of what Stoics do in life. And one of the things that he said was that a Stoic would go out in public and do something that would purposely draw attention to them, so that they would get used to what it feels like to have this uncomfortable feeling of people, judging them or looking at them, and getting used to that feeling so that eventually you just don't care anymore what it's like when people possibly are judging you for your appearance. And so Tim gave an example as to how what he does sometimes, modern day kind of approach to this, is he wears what he calls his fun pants, which I don't know what they look like, but it sounds like they're pretty like MC Hammer back in the 80s, very loud, very vibrant, maybe has a lot of patterns on it. And he says he'll go out in public in these pants, and he definitely has people stare at him. And he can only assume it's sort of maybe disapproving stares. And he will do this to himself to remind himself that, in the end, he still survived the day. And if there's a time in the future where something happens to him in which his appearance would change to a larger extent, he would have already, somewhat accustomed himself to what it's like to be in public and have that reaction from people. So you could probably see where I'm going with this, where I began to wonder if that could work for those who are moving away from their gender assigned at birth and trying different forms of gender expression. But understandably, I know a lot of people where this makes them very, very nervous, and thinking about going in public dressed a certain way or having a different sort of look or a different hairstyle or anything like that can be really, really nerve-wracking. And to put yourself out there one day just doing it can be terrifying. I know it's terrifying. I've heard that so many times. And so I'm wondering if that is an approach that can help. Definitely not trying to minimize what it's like for someone who is transitioning and making these steps. In fact, it's something I'm wondering that if you try these baby steps that are within your own control, how that would work. Is there a certain crazy hat you could wear? Or like Tim, he has these like funky pants that he wears. I did something unintentionally once where I wore a shirt and tie, and the tie was a rainbow tie, and I wore it in a Walmart in a very, very conservative town in Colorado. And I noticed immediately as I started walking into the Walmart, I was already getting nervous. Like, wait a second, what am I doing? Because I had just come from Pride Fest in a more liberal town. And so I walked around the Walmart, and I definitely got second glances. I got stares. I couldn't tell if they were people who were upset by what I was doing or not. But it was very uncomfortable. But once I finished it, I realized, wow, this is what it must be like for a lot of my clients to go out in public and wonder if they're being scrutinized by the public. And even though it kind of sucked, in the end, I also realized, it's okay. Like, I got through that. And like I said, not trying to minimize what it's like for those of you who might even be concerned about your safety in these types of situations. But nonetheless, for those of you who think an approach like this might work, where, again, trying to alter your appearance in such a way that you feel like is a small step for yourself. And it doesn't have to be related to your gender. It can be something else that you just wear and you go out and you see what it's like for people to look at you, and you don't know for sure. Do they think I look cool? Do they think I look weird? Are they judging me harshly? Are they approving of my style? Whatever it is, it gets you used to the attention, and eventually you get so used to it that you don't notice it as much. And then maybe that can get you one step closer to taking bigger steps that you need to take. So like I said, this might not be an approach that works for everyone, but I thought maybe at least a few people who watch this, maybe this is an idea you could use. So that's I pulled over to the side of the road to be able to talk to you about what was on my mind video for today. And I appreciate you watching. Hope to catch you again on my YouTube channel in the future. Be sure to subscribe so that you know when it is that I post another video. Take care. Bye.